2 years and 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm shooting this particular video in the 1 week lead up to the debut of our new channel, B&B Tabletop, which will be the new home of the Board and Barrel. I don't know when exactly this particular video is going to go live, but suffice it to say you can find us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at B&B Tabletop pretty much from this point forward. For the past 2 years or so, since pretty early on in the show's run, we've been using this dice tower for all of our buff and nerf dice rolls, which it's worked pretty well. The Eric ordered it from a website that you're probably seeing right now. The link for it is in the description, and it was 3D printed, and it works with standard sized dice pretty well. We were using it with these little guys that were plain blank dice with transparent name stickers that we taped onto them. That's how we were doing our buff and nerf dice with this particular dice tower. It served us pretty well. It's had one minor issue for us, which is that somewhere in the spiral inside of this dice tower, there's either a little cavity where things get a little bit too narrow, or just a little spot where the slide gets a little too flat, and sometimes dice get stuck in it. This concept for dice was working okay. We weren't really thrilled with the fact that you couldn't really make out what these little names said, especially if it was a longer name. So, about 2 or 3 months ago now, Caitlin and I decided to treat ourselves to a 3D printer of our own. So you've been seeing these if you've been watching the show over the past couple of months. We printed our own dice, and these have our names etched into the sides. It's been a really nice little upgrade for the show. But we've still had the issue with this dice tower occasionally getting stuck, and we still have the issue with these dice being just a little bit tough to read. So, enter the new dice tower. This guy will be debuting on the show, hopefully January 2nd, when we launch the new channel. I took the model for a mug off of Thingiverse and then modified it in 3D modeling software to make it into a dice tower. I then cut it into 4 pieces to be able to print it big enough to be of use, and I'm really excited to see how well it works. I aim to resolve both of these issues by first off making the spiral corkscrew part of the dice tower spiral less. It has less twists and turns inside of it, which means that it's less likely to have a place where dice will get stuck. And I also made the openings bigger than the old dice tower. It's still pretty much the same size, but the openings at the top and the bottom and all the way down are just a little bit bigger, which means it can support larger dice. Look at how much bigger these dice are compared to the old ones. And look at how easily they go down the spiral. Perfect. They're gonna look great on camera. We're gonna be able to read these names so much better once they're painted, obviously. But before I can do any of that, I need to paint and assemble the dice tower. So, I thought for this little behind-the-scenes video, I would shoot the process of painting the dice tower and the dice for this week's show, why not? And put it in a time lapse for you to watch. I will forewarn you, I am not particularly gifted at the visual arts, so if you are practiced in the art of painting miniatures, you might want to look away. For the rest of you, I hope you enjoy. I am really impressed with this E6000 glue. It has held everything together really, really well. These cracks are a little bit bigger than I would have liked. I may try and paint over the glue that's in those cracks to try and make it look a little bit more seamless, or I may put some clay or some wood filler over the top or something, or I may just say hell with it and leave it the way it is, because it still looks pretty darn good. I'm also really impressed with these bigger dice. They look like they're going to work really, really well. I'm really excited about it. I think it turned out great. I am in the process right now curing the second half of a little tray, a dice tray, kind of in the style of what's happening here. It's a little smaller than this just because of the limitations of my 3D printer. So I'm gonna, once I get that printed, sanded, cured, and everything, I'm gonna paint that as well. And I'm not sure if I'm going to firmly affix it to this dice tower or just kind of have it situated on the table. But I have a feeling I can see these dice just flying out of here really, really far and fast, potentially. They're not doing too bad right now, actually. I'm also really impressed with how the logo side on this die turned out. Let me pull that up really quick. You can't quite see it when I hold it up to the camera, just because of where the camera's focal point is set and because of the fact that it's extremely small. But there are little words on the logo, and you can almost see them at this size that you could not see at the smaller size. Really, really impressive to me that's visible on these dice. So I'm really, really happy with how everything turned out. I'm looking forward to debuting this new dice tower and these new, bigger, shinier dice on the Board and Barrel this Sunday, January 2nd. It may have already happened by the time you see this video. I would do a time-lapse of the painting of the dice tray and any touch-ups I'm considering doing to this. Yeah, I can see a couple spots I might want to touch up here in a second. But I think I've spent enough time on this video, and I need to clear the table to do some other stuff with it. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see ya on the show.